I learned along the way that it was using the physical body as a means to improve my productivity and my creativity. So I have a question for all of you. How many people, and you can be honest, it's okay. This is, there's no penalty for not having the right answers. Who here in the room absolutely rock star, figured it out, exercises 5 to 6, even 7 days a week? Raise your hand. Good. Who still is in that place where, you know, it's 2 or 3, not quite there? Raise your hand. It's weird. Those folks, they're not as enthusiastic. I suck, but I'll raise the hand. You know, I'm the fitness guy, right? The only reason why I'm standing on the stage is not because I'm very bright. It's certainly not the reason whatsoever. I mean, I was a C- student with a speech impediment when I was a young lad. I moved 6 times before I was in 5th grade. So, you know, hey, there's Tony Horton at the bus stop. Take his lunch money and go, you know. It was normal. I was picked last on every sports team except for dodgeball. Oh, there's Horton. Let's go. Right, but I had a tough struggle, but I understood that it was fitness first. It's food and fitness first. You are walking billboards for these products. We're not selling makeup and lawnmowers. All right, we're not selling snow tires here. We're selling a solution for this country that is struggling. There's a healthcare crisis. There's an obesity crisis. And you think our government, or you think, the pharmaceutical companies, the healthcare companies are doing much about it? They're thinking about it, they're talking about it, they're trying, but nothing's happening. You are the point of the spear for success for people in this country. Wow. What am I doing with look at you. Who does not? Raise your hand. You people suck. Okay. The worst people in the world. No, but you'll own it after today. Because I remembered each and every one of your faces. You and 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 you. So knowing the difference, I'm preaching to the choir. Obviously, Power 90, I was much younger and more handsome. Because we shot that like in the 60s, you know. But for folks who aren't ready for P90X, for folks who can't, aren't even close to P90X2, Power 90 is the on switch to changing your lives. Before we even had a coach network, we would go to Hawaii every year, and we would, yeah, who's there? There they are, you know who you are. Right, and so we had these amazing success stories with Power 90, 60, 70, 80 pound weight losses, and the workouts are 35 minutes. And so it's just, sure, it's antiquated and kind of basic, but the movements are there, the science is there. It was called sectional progression was the concept. Doing one exercise after another, chest, shoulders, back, biceps, and tries. By the way, you don't want to say sexual, I'm doing a program right now. It's all about sexual aggression. It's really, I've never felt better. And my husband is just out of his mind. He's never been happier. Best program in the world. Sexual progression. And the great thing about it is, you're just going from one move to another. There's not a lot of dead time, and it just works wonderfully. So, let's say you're in a situation you don't have time for P90X or X2, just throw that thing in. You should have that in your quiver, it's really important. Also, 10-minute trainer. I've already met like 4 or 5 people who come up to me with their 10-minute trainer.
Dennis Fowler from little bitty town of Godly, Texas. First time meeting, 5-star, and the town that I live in, and I'm not a public speaker, by the way. It doesn't come naturally, so this freaks me out. But the town that I live in has 879 people in it, and I got my crew's right up. Just because you live in a small community doesn't mean you can't have a big impact. So that's what we're doing here. Next year, I'm going to be elite. I've already made that path with my upline Chris Reed right here, and we're going to make it happen.
Chris Reed from Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. I'm a combined 6-star. This is my 2nd year elite. Everything that these guys are saying, you really need to soak it in and listen. And when I came to Elite, the first, or when I came to Elite, yeah, I'm a public speaker. When I came to Summit, my first time, really, I'll be honest with you, it was, I really kind of wanted to see what was going on. My wife Cody was like, "You're not going to LA without me." I've never been to California either. I had really no interest in the business, but Summit turned the corner for both of us. She left saying, "Hey, you know what, we should do this." And before that, I had never made Success Club. And I got there and I sat with some people who were consistently making Success Club, and really, just like they've talked about, I was like, why am I not doing that every month? And I haven't missed it since. And my wife is right there behind me.
That's me, sorry.
That was so not me. But anyway, on that note, this is it. This should be your launching pad. So make use of it.
And I would go to gym just to shower, so I won't stink. So every time I hear, "Oh, you smell good," I'm like, "Mm-hmm." You don't want to know. And I lived on tuna, can of tuna, and beans. And let me tell you, if I go in the grocery store, I see can of tuna, I'm running. I don't want to smell that fish ever again. And definitely beans. But that never stopped me from living my purpose and my passion and my calling. And I worked out every day, although I didn't have a place to sleep. I did whatever it took. And then, you know, when God opened the door, and then your life turned to be just like dark. And then, again, you go to the blaming mentality, you go to the victim. My life is crap. You don't know. It's like flying, and when you fly and you go to the clouds, everything seems so dark. But you know, because you experienced that before, you have the faith that once you pass those clouds, the sun will come out, and everything will change. So, again, your thoughts, who you are, will change that. So, really, the true meaning of the beast is, what kind of person are you? Who you are, and what's the meaning of your calling? Because if you don't know what you're here for, you don't know where you're going, you don't know who the person you're going to become. I asked yesterday, this kid said to me, he said, "I'm making $100,000 a year. Do you have any advice?" Don't go to strip clubs. I said, "I have just one question for you. Who are you?" And he told me his name. I said, "No, I didn't ask your name. Who are you?" And then he started telling me a story. I said, "I didn't ask for a story. I just want you to know. I want to know, who are you? I want to get to know you." And he couldn't tell me. I said, when you know who you are, the meaning of that 100 grand won't mean a damn thing. Because who you are matters. And when you do stuff like that. So my takeout, if there's anything that you guys can take from here, is always find deep inside your warrior. Go back to that warrior, and every time you have those negative thoughts, go on a negative thoughts diet. Okay? Smack yourself in the head and say, "I am not going to go there. I am not going to go there." And you're always going to remember what the beast said. You got to beast up. You got to win the day. And sometimes it doesn't have to be so big. Just win the meal. And if you want to change the world, the change has to start with you. You have to change. And it's not about changing habits, because I don't believe that you can break a habit. I believe that you can replace a habit. So if you have any bad habits, don't say, "I am this, I am that." No, say, "I am the beast." And you know what? When you're the beast, you don't need approval. You don't need no one to tell you how great you are, because you are great, just the way you are. So don't forget that. Love you guys.
The other thing that really, when I'm talking about Carl, that when I tell other people, it's the integrity that's behind him. You that were around when we were a couple of summits ago, when we were thinking maybe we were going to get vanilla and then we didn't, you know, there was such integrity behind that, why that came to be. And when you meet him and you talk to him, he's a real guy, and he's just as humble and a fantastic person. It's a pleasure that I've got to spend some time with him. So I'm going to get off the stage so you can see this gentleman who snuck in the back, because that's how he is, Mr. Carl Dykman.
Chris Reed, everybody. Chris Reed, rocking it. Lindsay, nice job. Congratulations. I was giving her a little grief last night. 2 kids. Can't name one of them, Carl? Some coach is going to get the memo that I will really like them a lot if they name their kid after me. Man, seriously. Or maybe a lot of them could do it. There'd be a bunch of Carls coming up. I know, it's an awful name. I never liked it. I always wanted to be named Pete. So if you name your kid Pete, then I'm going to take credit for having that kid named after what I wanted to be named. Frankly, the trend of obesity the whole weekend. But let me just read, I found some stats online. And let me just make this a little relevant. Because it can kind of be, once you get your own problem solved and you surround yourself with like-minded people, the problem can go away a little bit. Okay, first off, 77% of the population reports that they have the symptoms of stress from day to day. Okay, the top 3 sources of stress: job pressure, money, and health. Think we can help with that? I think we can help. If you're wondering if there are behaviors in this country and in Canada that we can help affect, the total percentage of empty calories that make up a child's diet, 40% a day. Average amount of soda that a kid drinks age 12 to 19 per day, 22 ounces of soda. Total amount of calories that are recommended for daily intake is around 2,000. Obviously, it depends on body composition, all that, but let's say 2,000. The average calories an American consumes every day, 3,800. That means in about 2.5 days you're adding a pound, the way that all works out. 3,800 calories a day. I think that's related back up to that stress issue. Wondering if it's a significant opportunity to invest your time and energy into this fight against obesity? 68% of the population is obese or overweight. 68% of us. 34% are obese. Now, when you are obese, the average is that will cost you 9 years of your life. Those are your parents. That's you and your relationship with your kids. That's the people that you know and their ability to watch their kids grow up. You think it's important that you invite every single day, that you have the courage to step into people's lives? You want to give them back 9 years of their lives? This is a curable, solvable issue if we stay on top of it. The average increase in healthcare expenditure for an obese person is 25%. By the way, I want to do a blog post about these numbers. Or you're not doing it. Either you're doing it or you're pretending. Stop pretending. We need you to be in this for real. You guys are great. I love you. Thanks for having me.